Hello, my name is Elian Vega Robles, and today I'm here to talk about the current environmental effects of suburbanization in Orlando and going into the population overgrowth and its environmental effects. Now, imagine you're driving down the highway and all of a sudden you hear from your GPS that there's a car backup around from almost 3 miles, which will lead to an extra hour of everyone being stuck on the highway due to an accident that just occurred. Now, what are some problems about this? Now, the main problems are CO2 emissions, as with the amount of gas that is being used on these cars is resulting in a lot of CO2 emissions going into the atmosphere. There's also mass deforestation, as people need more roads to avoid these car outages to occur, which would result in more roads being built and more forests being destroyed because of the necessity of space. And now, because of this, there's also a economic inequality that exists in Orlando and Florida in general due to the way that everything has been set up in Orlando, as there is massive amounts of areas that are either very wealthy or they're much cheaper or of lower class, mid to low incomes. Now, there's been a way to try to combat this through new urbanism. Now, new urbanism is the principles articulated in the Charter of New Urbanism were developed to offer alternatives to the sprawling, single-use, low-density patterns of typical post-World War II developments, which have been shown to inflict negative economic, health, and environmental effects or impacts on communities. Now, there are 7 main goals that they have, which are to have human-scale neighborhoods return, basically have more open space allowed in your neighborhood. They want to make placemaking and public space a high priority to be made accommodative not only for cars but for people as well. And they are considered to be pragmatic, as they collaborate with many workers and engineers who have influence over the built environments. They focus on design, which is critical to the function of the community itself. They are holistic. They are holistic, which means that all buildings are on scale are related, as a community and a city can't really work without that sense of unity. There needs to be a sense of pattern recognition in order for everything to kind of mesh well. And they also focus on reclaiming underutilized and neglected places, such as the federal Hope 6 and Choice neighborhood programs, which have transformed deteriorating buildings into livable mixed income neighborhoods. And above all else, they're about creating sustainable, human-scale places where people can live happy and healthy lives. Now, while all that seems good, there are some problems, as some expectations were not met. Such as, despite new urbanism being new, there's a lot of skepticism behind it. So because it's so new, it struggles to really put itself forward and to really bring itself as being a full-on solution to the problem that is occurring here. And there are 5 main categories to this, which are scale, as new urbanists hope to replicate more compact, small-scale, and diverse building types, and with the demand of urban and suburban lifestyles, that usually requires massive facilities to do, so that might not be the most effective way. There's transportation, which new urbanism is really leaning into the public transportation, and while that can work, there hasn't been any empirical evidence to really support this type of transportation really working out. And now there's also issues with the planning and coding, as they have to get approved for new building codes, street codes, city codes, and to work with government officials, that is very difficult, as they feel that many of them are too auto-focused. And while they were able to get many of their projects approved, many aspects remain incompatible and unfortunately could not work. Now there's also regionalism and marketing, as there's worry that the movement will go from just a suburban sprawl that occurred post World War II to now getting a new urban sprawl, essentially switching a problem with a problem. And they're struggling with the marketing, as because this idea is so new and people don't really like change, it has investors worried, and it can be hard to really convince people to push for such a different, unique style of building that we have not seen before. Now, currently, the top 5 fastest growing locations in Orlando in Florida is Lake Nona, Kissimmee, St. Cloud, Claremont, and Winter Park. And with house prices in Orlando, according to this graph, currently the house prices in Orlando have a wide range, as single-family homes in all cities have increased except for Winter Park. For townhouses, you have Lake Nona and Kissimmee increasing. Winter Park and Orlando are generally decreasing. And Hunter's Creek has generally stayed the same throughout these 5 years, as it ranges from 2025 to 2020. And condos and co-ops in Orlando and Hunter's Creek are currently decreasing. And currently we're seeing a mass migration from places such as New York, Miami, Washington, California. We're seeing all these massive amounts of people moving towards Orlando, which just causes more problems, as having this many people in such a concentrated place can result in house prices going higher, can result in more roads being stuck with people, can result in more people just being trapped and leading to busier streets, less job opportunities. And yeah, when it comes to people coming over, it can lead to a lot of those problems. Now, there are 3 current solutions that I believe that we should pursue, and that new urbanism right now just isn't working. But what we can do right now is use more renewable energy sources to combat the CO2, such as solar panels, as homeowners can benefit from long-term steady source of energy that doesn't fully rely on fossil fuels, as not only would that decrease their amount of CO2 emissions, but also give them a nice bonus on their energy bill. And due to the influx of people in the community, having energy efficient buildings will help really reduce the CO2 emissions. Now, having improved public transportation would really help out major cities, as cities are at least designed especially around public transit, but with many complaints behind public transit, if we improve it, then it would really allow for majority of cities to really function better, as suburban areas are really built around cars, but cities are more built around public transport. Now, there are also the benefits of having urban green spaces, as having urban green spaces will significantly improve air quality and promote biodiversity. And there are many benefits, such as conserving energy, improving the lifespan of roofs, preventing sustainable urban drainage, thereby reducing flooding, providing a shelter for wildlife, improving air quality, and mitigating climate change. Thank you for listening to my message, and please remember, the green spaces we save today are the lungs of Orlando's tomorrow. Let's not suffocate our future. Thank you.